welcome to Centurion's Corner, and today we are doing another hangout video, and this time we're bringing all the Mandalorians from the Black Series onto one shelf. Now we'll put a disclaimer out there, I do not collect all the carbonised versions, all the sort of specials editions and stuff like that, so you won't see a lot of the same figure repeated over and over again. I have obviously a few Boba Fett's because there's different parts of different episodes and films where he wears different armours. And I have Din Djarin as well because he's all in silver here, and I got him with the season 1 looking one, so I'm just going to rub his head just there. So what I would say that this is the complete collection that you can buy of Black Series figures of each individual figure or a certain look of those figures. And then at the end of the video we'll introduce a new Mandalorian, which is a brand new custom that I've designed to put on the shelf. So yeah, I mean, I guess starting from the outset, we can look at Cobb Vanth, because he's not really a Mandalorian, yet he stole Boba Fett's armour. Well, bought it, traded it, or whatnot. And I'll put another thing out there, is that some of these figures I have changed. So if you look at them, they look a bit more detailed. I have upgraded these figures, and you'll find most of those on the channel in the upgraded playlist. So yeah, Cobb Vanth, a really nice looking figure, really good. I paid a little bit over the odds for this guy. Just looks great. Really nice face sculpt on there as well. Comes with quite a few cool weapons. He's got his revolver, gun, and around on his backpack as well, looking really nice. And it's just one of those really nice detailed figures, and I didn't mind paying the extra odds for this one just to get him on the shelf. But yeah, he's a really, really cool figure. Next up, we'll look at the Armourer. Not really much going for her, to be honest with you. I think she's a great looking figure, but for today's standards, I do think she is a little bit bland. But nice looking on there, and I can't wait to see her in season 3. Really nice sort of details on those certain areas around as well, the leather effect and stuff. But she does need a bit of weathering, and I wonder if there's quite a few details missing. So maybe in a further day I might do an upgrade for this figure. Next up, another one that I do forget about a lot, because I have a Mandalorian shelf with all like the scum and Vinley. But this one's actually on my Rebels shelf, so she's always at the back, and that's Sabine Wren, who will be appearing in the Ahsoka series that will be coming out soon. So I'd be really interested to see how her armour has kind of transformed over time. Again, a really nice looking figure, really nice details on the actual armour itself. And they did re-release this figure, I think a couple of years ago, when they restarted bringing all the Rebels out with the new face sort of tech and stuff on there. Unfortunately, this one hasn't got it. She's actually based on the season 1, this one here. And the helmet is really, 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 really tight. And we could just pop it off. But underneath, it's just her face on here, which looks really basic. But I can't wait. I really can't wait to see what she looks like in the Ahsoka series. And yeah, hopefully we get a new updated figure for her to put on the shelf as well. Lo and behold, we can actually bring up Din Djarin on here. Now this guy I must have updated about 20 million times. We gave him a kind of, it's actually an old sock as his cape. We've painted all his sort of like detonators in there. We've given him a spear made out of cocktail sticks and whatnot. But he's actually a really good figure. I wish his helmet just looked a little bit nicer, to be honest. A lot of people ask if I'm going to ever chrome him up with a chrome pen, but I think he's chrome enough for me on the shelf. I know it's sort of like really quite shiny, but I don't feel like it's like comic shiny, like really too chrome and stuff on there. We gave him an extra little blue kneecap and stuff on there as well, and chromed up his jetpack, which looked awful because it was that really dark plastic when you get him out of the box. But yeah, lo and behold, I'm really glad to have this one on the shelf as well. And then we can look at another silver boy, which is Jango Fett. Now this is one of the first ever figures I actually bought for the Black Series. I think over time his articulation's not that great. He's kind of sort of like getting a little bit kind of robust. You can't really move him about, shall I say, and his feet are really small. But his details on the armour, I like all this silver denting and other bits around as well. I wouldn't chrome this guy up. I think actually Hasbro did a good job for me from the beginning. They did re-release this guy in the gaming greats with a better face application on there. Obviously his face isn't that great on there, but it's not too bad. Maybe I could redo the eyebrows now as they're a little bit lower down. You can just see the arches on there, so they're a bit high up. What I did do for this guy, I did upgrade him at one point, so his jetpack on the back is actually connected with a magnet. The Gaming Greats one actually came with 2 jetpacks, but what I had a resin jetpack, so I put one on there. So he's actually got this jetpack as well, so I could take it off and then I could put on this one with ease. So that's the only bit I did of that. I feel like I need to upgrade him a little bit low because his wires are slowly poking out and coming away and breaking, which is a really annoyance of especially some of the earlier figures. So next up we can look at Throne Room Boba Fett on here. This one, I generally don't think he needs a real upgrade. I think he needs a little bit of dirtying around on here. We've got his knee pads, probably could do with a bit of shining and silver on there. But in general, I think he's actually a really good solid figure, and I think the colours work pretty well as well. Probably just needs a little few more dings and stuff around on him up there. The only thing I would say about this one is my helmet is super tight on his head, so when I try and push it down, he just literally just doesn't want to go all the way, and I've always got his chin and stuff sticking out the bottom, and even if I get it straight, it just doesn't work, and his jetpack always falls off. But it's always got this massive gaping hole at the bottom, and just inside actually in the mask there's a big plastic kind of I don't know if you can see it, the light's a little bit jammy, but just around on there's that big massive gum of plastic at the bottom which really just gets in the way. So I think I might trim all that out. I'd rather have a loose helmet on Boba Fett's head rather than the really super tight one, that's for sure. So I guess we can take another pick, and we'll go for this one over the back here. And this was the Death Watch. I can't really remember the super his name. I think it's the Loyalist, or maybe that was the Loyalist, or that's the Super Commando. This was the Loyalist, I think. Again, based on the Jango Fett body, literally exactly the same all the way down. Apart from the upper thighs here, slightly different because they've got different bits at the top here, but all the rest is the same. But I really like this figure when I got him. I really like the kind of like the colour scheme on this guy, even though he's a bit similar to this Death Watch guy. I just really like it. It's kind of a bit like military cop in a way. Got this sort of zero bit on the side here, jetpack and stuff as well. So yeah, I really like this guy. Unfortunately, no removable helmet. It's just on the ball joint up there. No rangefinder, which is a little bit different for these guys as well. So yeah, looking pretty cool. Next up, we will take Axe Woes, and I think Axe Woes actually is probably, I think, is my pinnacleist best Mandalorian figure. I even forgot what I was actually talking about here. Just for the simple fact that it has a removable helmet. With Axe Waves, it is a little bit loose. I would say that's a bit of an annoying part of it. But I love his belt. I love all these bits on here, and he's a really good actual figure as well. Really great articulation. Really well done as well. So yeah, really good figure. Again, he has been upgraded, so that's why he's a little bit more shiny to the rest. But nonetheless, he is a really cool one. So while we got him out, we can actually go on to Bo-Katan as well. She's a nice looking figure as well. The first time they brought out this feminine sort of body with the Mandalorian armour on there. Again, upgraded. This one has a removable helmet to show Katie Sackhoff's face. Really well sculpted on there. Looks really nice, and the helmet fits well. We've got the baby jetpack as well for the ladies, and down as well to the rest of the figure, making it ones I would say I highly recommend to put on the shelf. And then reusing that body as well, we've got the Costa Reeves, and again, not too bad. The only thing that was slightly different in this one is actually the armour. The helmet is actually a different sculpt on there, so not looking too bad, is it? This one always looks wider. I think it is different. I think it's a different sculpt. It's but yeah, because the sides and all that are slightly different. So that's the only thing I would say is different, and apart from the face as well, Costco. And again, another great figure looking as well. Really looks like the actress and the wrestler, which I don't know her name, I must admit. So go on back, we can go to the first release of The Mandalorian. This guy again come with a big massive plastic cape. I just kind of gave him a kind of a bit of a ripped up cape on here. I just upgraded him a little bit. I think he needs a bit of a black wash. All I've done was give these extra little bits on here, but that's it. Maybe the weathering on his helmet could do with a bit of an upgrade as well, but generally again it's not a bad figure. Got good articulation and stuff on there. They have obviously come leaps and bounds now. You've got like butterfly joints and stuff in there, which this guy's missing. There's no port for the back either for his jetpack and stuff. Obviously he didn't have it of this one there, but it was a good figure. And yeah, I would say actually they don't really release this guy much either for the re-releases of the Mandalorian. So next up we can go for the Typhon Boba Fett. This one is really due an upgrade. I'm so sorry, I've been an absolutely poor host with not actually producing that guy or that content at the moment, but he is on the shelf. He doesn't actually go back onto the actual main shelf. He sits on my table ready to be upgraded. Again, a really nice looking figure, definitely in need of it all, but because he actually sort of has the same body as the throne room guy, but there is slight subtle differences that we need to add to this one to make him slightly different. And again, the helmet is removable, revealing his face and looking too bad. We can now go on to the Commando. What is it? A Super Commando from season 7 of the Clone Wars for Darth Maul's loyalist people. And again, looking really cool on this guy. Copies the same body as this guy, copies the same one as Jango, but this one is exactly the same because he has the holsters and stuff on the side all the way down. But again, it's a really nice figure to add. I do think the colours look slightly odd. I think this could be a little bit darker and stuff. It looks like a gone off bogey or something like that. It's a bit of a weird greeny brown, but apart from that, no, it's a really nice one to add, and I was quite surprised that they've done it. And the helmet looks fantastic as well with those spikes of Darth Maul. So we can actually look at Boba Fett as well. So this is the Empire Strikes Back. This is the archive release, which I didn't think they could do anything better than this, to be honest. But it just shows you really what you get used to, and what they produce now is really cool. And it just really started to show its age. I think the helmet on this one, at first I used to think it looked like the best helmet, but since then it's looking kind of small on the body. His articulation isn't that great either. He has this sort of weird swivel at this elbow, and it always feels like this is the only way you can actually get him to stand. These bits in the way as well, they just like really sort of like get in the way of his articulation. But nonetheless, it is a really good figure. It's good just for a static look, you know, sort of like a "he's no good to me, dead" kind of sort of looking at Darth Vader. But if he's going to do any toy photography or anything like that, then I think this guy generally isn't that great for those shots, not like his newer brother. And this one is on obviously the Return of the Jedi. This is the deluxe or deluxe version, shall I say. Cloth cape added. We've done his backpack, gave it all a bit of an extra wash, extra paints and stuff all over the actual figure itself, and then we did add a removable helmet. I think it's one of my first times I painted a face on this guy. It didn't come out too bad, to be honest. It looks okay. But yeah, he's got the removable helmet on that part. Obviously other people won't. It will be glued down in place. But this guy, his articulation is fantastic. It's definitely probably one of my best Boba Fett's that are out there, to be honest. And so he's coming back out next year with the Return of the Jedi for the 40th anniversary. So if you haven't got this guy, I recommend it because he's really cool. But you need to add a cloth cape, otherwise it just gets in the way and it keeps knocking off his jetpack. But yeah, he's a really cool guy. So we can go to the last Boba Fett on the shelf, which is actually, this one is a bootleg figure. It was quite hard to get hold of this one, but I think they're bringing it out on Gaming Greats, or has it come out in Gaming Greats? I can't remember. But yeah, this was quite hard to get hold of. But yeah, I got the AliExpress version. I don't even think you can get it on AliExpress no more. But yeah, it's not too bad. It's just the white Boba Fett from the Return of the Jedi body mould. And it's quite nice just to have on the shelf. I was always kind of thinking that I would upgrade this one to a Jodo cast, but I think I might even get a new version of this one and make this one into a Jodo cast, to be honest with you, and just keep this one on the shelf. He always sits at the back as well, but it's just nice to have him in the collection. And then we've got the heavy infantry Mandalorian. This guy is actually really cool. They have just brought out a new one with Jon Favreau with a removable helmet, but yeah, I'm not really rushing out to get that one. I'm just not into sort of low sort of like re-releases and stuff like that. But I do think looking at this guy might need a bit of an upgrade as well, more dings and other bits on there. But again, a fantastic figure, really well done. The size of him is humongous, with the new backpack and all that on there. This bit's really annoying because it fits into his hand and it pops out, and this bit comes around, it's always popping out as well. But apart from that, is actually a really good figure. And I think you can still pick up his sort of like credit edition, which isn't too different from this one, for normally about 16 quid on sort of like different sites. And then lo and behold, we can go to the last little guy that's all the way in the background over there, and that is the Death Watch Mandalorian. And again, this is probably my favouriteest Mandalorian, as well as Axe. They literally have the same body. If I can find him down here, there's only a few subtle differences, which this one's got a little bit of a bib on there, and he's got a nicer belt. And obviously a removable helmet. That's why I kind of just put this one just that little bit extra over this guy. But you cannot knock the look of this armour. It looks sensational and looks really, really nice. And is probably up there with the Stormtrooper in my opinion. Great articulation. And if you ever need a Mandalorian on the shelf, at least go out and get this one. He is really, really, really cool. So I guess that comes right to the end of the video, and now to introduce the newest Mandalorian to the shelf. And so here he be, a samurai Mandalorian. Now this I kind of always wanted to do. It's actually on the body of Axe Woves. I've just purchased another one of these guys, just painted him up to look like obviously a samurai there, just using inspiration I found on Google, with gold and red and other parts as well. And yeah, so we can take a closer look at this guy. Again, I haven't got a name for this one, so you need to come up with a name in the comments for me and put it down there. But before you start putting names, we'll go through his details to give you some ideas. So my favourite film is The Last Samurai, and I absolutely adore it. I even put it up there probably more than Star Wars, to be honest with you. And obviously we see Tom Cruise wear the red armour at the end. And samurai culture, Japanese culture, is always a big thing for me. I don't know what it is. I have a weird calling to it, but I always think it looks really peaceful. So yeah, looking at this guy, we got him a new helmet on there with the gold. I've actually got one of my toenail clippings up here that I've painted gold. Only joking. It's actually a part of the front window of one of the figures that I just cut out, just using a 10p piece and then moving it up a little bit to get the other part as well, and just cut it out with a pair of scissors and painted it gold and glued it to his head. So yeah, just looking really nice. Got all the dings and things around on here. We've got his nice cape, which is actually one of my old shirts that doesn't fit anymore, that I've cut up and put some extra sort of like gold over the top of it to fall it in line. Underneath is just pretty much all black. I didn't bother giving him a jetpack on this one. I didn't want him to have one, and I removed his rangefinder as well. Just give him that extra kind of look, because I think when people do Mandalorians, they kind of keep the characteristics. So sometimes it just looks like a repainted Boba Fett. Down on his arms, again, there's just all the silvers and the gold all around on the outsides of his armour, and down on there, and then all the way down to these parts. I have gave him a sword that I actually got from the Foot Soldier Power Ranger pack on there, so he's got a nice katana so he can hold, looking pretty cool. And also we gave him a removable helmet, and underneath we have Tommy from the Power Rangers, and this guy is actually from the Lord Draken line on there, so he's actually got all these sort of like scarrings and marks and stuff on his face, looking pretty cool. But what I do like about it is that when he put his helmet on, the hair still hangs down underneath and stuff like that, and he's still got full range of articulation in his head. I just had to sort of like do some work on dribbling on the inside of the helmet, or his head and his neck, just so the ball point gets right up there, and then I've used hot glue and stuff in place, so he's actually got full range of movement and stuff on there. So yeah, just looking pretty cool, and it's quite good that he's actually got that lower neck movement as well on there. So yeah, all good in the hood. And yeah, so I'm really happy to actually put this guy on the shelf. I just absolutely love him. I think he's come out really well. I've also put some extra stitching and stuff down there to kind of keep it in line with the samurai look on there, on his sort of big part, and other places as well. So yeah, really proud of this guy, and I think he's come out super well. All I used was flat red on this guy, gold leaf Tamira, and flat black as well, so there's not really a lot of extra parts on it. Oh, and a bit of gunmetal underneath his helmet. So thank you all so much for joining me on this one. Don't forget, you can comment down below, subscribe, ding that bell, give this guy a name, and I'll see you next time. Take care.